Welcome, Savages! We are back. We're talking the Teashop loop on Million on Mars. What is the Teashop? What tasks can it do? How much does the Teashop make? And what buildings do you need to support it? And whether or not I think the Teashop is a great idea. Let's get into it. All right, so this is the Teashop on Million on Mars, and here is mine specifically. Now, in this Teashop, you have some different things you can do. The most notable ones that I know of are mushroom tea and Baijuuuuu. Baijuuuuu is insanely efficient to make and very, very profitable. Why do people like Baijuuuuu? Baijuuuuu, if you drink it, it's gonna give you a little bit of dusk and a little bit of stamina. And for the most part, drinking it is going to be basically free. All you got to do is buy some Baijuuuuu on the marketplace and you'll get this food and drink option. There's a happy hour, and when that happy hour kicks in, you can drink 2 within that happy hour period. And for the most part, I think these happy hours happen at the same time every day. There's 2 times a day that it happens. I'll maybe post the times down below. It's not about happy hour. It's about should you have a Teashop. So let's break this down. Now, let's take a look at Pedro and see what he has to say about the Teashop. The Teashop Baijuuuuu after fees, 207% profit after fees. Now, the build cost to make Baijuuuuu is 5.663 with a sale value of 18.3 per task. Now that's a gain of 11, almost 12. Okay, so Baijuuuuu is extremely profitable. Now let's compare that real quick to the making coffee. Making coffee, as we all know, is very profitable, but it's only 51% profit. That's 15 dusk for the build cost and 24 on the sale. So that's a 7, almost 8 gain after fee on the brew. And like I said, the Teashop is a 11, almost 12 after making it. So Baijuuuuu is very, very profitable, and the cooldown isn't bad either. At the top end, you're looking every 3 hours. But if you don't want it to be that fast, you can always not level up your building as high. Now, I think the Teashop is very profitable. The sheet that I'm about to show you was made by a great person in the community, and I'm going to put their wallet address on the page. If you like this sheet, please show them some love and appreciation, and I'm sure we will see more sheets like this for other things. So again, only send something if you have extra and you won't miss it. But thank you for considering that. All right, so here's the wallet address. If you want to send donations, you can send it to this address right here. This is for the person who made this sheet. All right, the person's name is Thinker. You'll find Thinker in the Millions on Mars Discord, but this is that person's wallet. If you like the sheet and you have some extra dusk, whatever, you can feel free to donate. That person would greatly appreciate it. They're also just a little personal stuff. They're into Teashops. They're into libraries. So if you have some of those, they would gladly accept any Teashops and libraries. But let's move on. Now this sheet right here, we will link down below. And what you're going to see, there's 4 different pages. Okay, it's all broken down on a single task. All of it's broken down. Okay, you got 3 stam, 10 power, 3 fermented sorghum, 2 bamboo, 3 water. Got the stamina cost, the power cost, everything's broken down. Min, average, and max for the Baijuuuuu. This is going to be strictly for the Baijuuuuu because that is the most profitable thing. So now we go task per day. So we have Thinker broke this down from level 1 through level 5. You can see how many tasks they get. A level 1 Teashop has 1 task that it can run every 7 hours, and a level 5 shop can run 10 tasks every 3 hours. That is insane. Now, this sheet is broken down to 16-hour days, okay? So this is not based on 24 hours, it's based on 16 because we figure that you're probably going to play within a 16-hour window. And that's just hopefully a good average. But anyway, moving on. You can see what's your materials you need between level 1 and level 5. You can see those costs. And here's where it gets super interesting. Level 1 Teashop profit. This is per day. That's 13 dust. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, okay, that's not a lot. Don't worry about it. 13 can be a lot for some people for sure. Let's go to level 2. Level 2 Teashop. 40 dusk. Almost 40 dusk. Level 3, 99. And this just keeps going up. Level 4, 185 dusk a day. Level 5, 332 dusk. It is absolutely insane. Now your average is going to be higher than that. So on average, a level 5 is 500 dusk per day. Level 4 is 283. Level 3, 151. You get the idea. This will all be here for you to see. The Teashop is very profitable. I like seeing it between I like the level 3 to level 4. I think that's a nice sweet spot, and I'll tell you why. Because the cost. Now, on the building cost tab, you'll see the cost of the building. It's the same. It's 700 dusk in the shop. Then to level it, it shows you how many shards you need. So for level 2, you just need 3 shards. So you're buying 1 extra Teashop, dismantling it, and using that to upgrade. Now at level 3, you have to break down some more Teashops to upgrade to have enough to basically have 15 shards. So, but as you can see, the cost goes from 700 to almost 1400 dust to 4K plus dusk. Level 4 is 7500 dusk, and level 5 is about 14K dusk. It's like, okay, so there can be a pretty significant dusk investment, but let's look at the ROI. Now, this is ROI based in dusk. So this is a game first, okay? Not talking dollars, we're talking dusk. To get that dusk back, your average for the level 1 is 34 days. And what's super interesting, this is probably the first time I've seen it on a building, is your average goes down. Your ROI goes down with upgrading this building. And that is absolutely crazy. So, as bonkers as this, look at this, 23 days. And then level 3 actually goes back up. So level 2 looks like a sweet spot. But for me, I don't mind a few extra days. So 27 days to get your dust back for level 3. For level 4, 26, and so on. Level 5 is under 30 days. 14K dusk. So I'm saying, this sheet is saying 14K dusk will be back. Would have been made if you sold it all in 28 days. That's absolutely insane. You have everything here. You just have to decide if you're going to do Teashop, what level are you going to go with? And it's going to come down to your dusk budget. You're just going to have to think, which one can I afford to build? You know, and you can always build into the next one, but it's going to take some time depending on, you know, if you have other dust that you can funnel into it from other loops that you're into. But man, this is so sweet. I currently have a level 3 Teashop and no regrets, because in 27 days, this thing is going to basically pay for itself. I love that. Love that. Now, this is where it gets a little more detailed. Okay. What does it take to support this? Now, this isn't self-sufficient, because you don't have to be self-sufficient with the Teashop. You can just buy a Teashop buy everything else that you need to make it, and you're good. Okay, it's that profitable, and I like that. I think that's a great thing, because depending on the market is okay, and the game is healthier that way. But let's say you wanted to make some of this stuff. Maybe you have a premium pass, so maybe you have some of these buildings that we're going to talk about, which you will if you have the premium pass, or you have maybe you just bought these buildings for whatever reason. But check this out. So okay, so we have there's the outputs, the output averages, and the output maxes. All the outputs are here. You can see this is per task, minimum, average, and max, and this is per task. And then we have it's broken down to, so this is your water filter, and if you're going to ferment sorghum, what water filter level do you need? Do you need a common? Do you need an uncommon? Do you need a rare? How many tasks? Okay, so if you have a level 1 through level 2 Teashop, you're good with a common level 1. If you have a level 3 Teashop, you're going to want a common 10 or an uncommon 3 or a rare level 1 water filter for your Teashop. And then you can see level 4, you're going to want an uncommon 7 or a rare 2 or an epic 1 for your Teashop level 4. So this shows you, hey, if you have a water filter, this is what you need to support it. I like this because sometimes it's not easy to consider and to think about the supporting stuff you need in the back. Thankfully, Teashops don't need a ton. Like, getting away with the common for the first 2 levels is awesome, and that's only at 1 task. That's great. And then for level 3, an uncommon level 3 does you a lot of good. Like, it just totally covers you there, and it almost gets you by for level 4. And you can certainly run the water filter more and just kind of front run it, but for the most part, you don't need a lot to take care of this Teashop. Now we move on to water. Okay, the same water filter. You can see common 1 takes care of the first 2 levels, just like before. It's actually really close to the fermented sorghum part. So for me, having a level 3, a uncommon 3, or a rare 1 water filter is plenty. Okay, now if your water filter is supporting other buildings for water or other fermenting needs, then you're going to want the bigger one. Okay, but for the most part, you don't have to go mythic, you don't have to go legendary. You know, the epics are fine. That might be a good way to go for a water filter. Now, bamboo, this is the greenhouse. Common 4 carries you all the way to level 4. That is insane. That is so good. And then uncommon level 3. Now, depending on what it costs to upgrade a common 4, might be better just getting the uncommon 3 greenhouse. Don't know for sure, you'd have to check the dusk numbers, but knowing that an uncommon 3 greenhouse basically covers the top end, that is super reasonable. I would almost go the uncommon 3 just for the sole reason that you'll have more tasks and you'll be able to make your own food and other things with that as well. Now, the greenhouse, and here you can see how many tasks do you need from that greenhouse for it to handle that level. So for the most part, it's one task for the greenhouse is all you need between level 1 and 2. And then, you know, at level 3, you're going to need about 2 tasks, and level 5, about 5 tasks on average. So, and it depends. Worst case, you're going to have to use more tasks. Best case, less. So I'd say play the average, and if you need to run an extra task, go ahead and do that. All the information is here. You are covered. The Teashop is, I'm going to say, extremely profitable. You can see the per day profits here on the sheet. Let's go in game. What's the market look like? Oops. The market on Baijuuuuu. Total volume, almost 6,000. Almost 6,000. That's 1/3 coffee, which is a big deal because you can only drink this 4 times a day. Where coffee, you can drink that, I think, 5 or 6 times a day. But with Baijuuuuu, it's a limited window. So I'm surprised that it's 1/3 the sell volume, even though it's in a small window. That tells me that a lot of people like that happy hour. Here's where it gets interesting. So you have 88 sell orders right now and 70 buy orders. Now this changes a lot. So I've seen the buy orders as high as 350 and the sell orders you know, under that 24 mark. Right now it seems like there's kind of an even buy and sell, but it's just like coffee. Look, coffee's about the same. Sell orders 127, buy orders 102. The buy orders look okay. I know there's usually a larger gap during the morning, so that's usually when I do my selling. The volume is the most important part aside from the profit. It's a profitable task and it's so cheap to run. Let me show you. Let me show you my Teashop. Oh my God, I got stuff to click on. I gotta finish this video. So look at this. This is why it's so profitable. Baijuuuuu, 2 bamboo, 3 water, 3 stamina, and 3 sorghum is very cheap. Power 10. That's half a cell. That's half a cell. To do all this Baijuuuuu right here, that's only taken me 2.5 cells. I think I did the math right on that. So only 2.5 cells, and I'm running this thing. Let's compare that to coffee machine. Coffee machine, 2 full cells per task. That is insane. That's more than all of this combined, almost. So if you're on a budget, if you don't have a lot of power, I think the Teashop is better for you than the coffee loop. Both loops, very profitable. In fact, I don't know too many loops that aren't profitable, but I know a ton of people in coffee, and I'm like, you know what? Teashop, I think, is a sneaky underdog, and we should pay some respect to that. So if you're looking at this game, you're wondering, is the Teashop a possible way to go? I'm going to say yes, it is profitable right now, subject to change down the road. I don't see it becoming unprofitable, but maybe it becomes less profitable down the road or more profitable, depending on the user base and how many people need it versus how many people are selling it. Supply demand. But right now, Teashop is kicking butt. So put some respect on it. The reason I made this video, the reason I was thinking about this is because I know about 7 people in my guild doing coffee shops, complaining about power. Teashop, the same or greater profitability, 1/3 the power, 1/3 the input cost. Sneaky good. Sneaky good. So what do you think? If I inspired you to get a Teashop, I'm hoping not all of you do that because we don't want to crash the Baijuuuuu market. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, this is a game first. Nothing I was talking about was for USD. The ROI is based on Dusk, which is the in-game token. You do what you want with it. That's the information. I'm giving it to you. Like, share, subscribe. The sooner we hit 1K, the sooner we give some stuff away. So if you haven't subbed by now, I don't know what you're waiting for.